Hi there, how are you? I'm just fine, thanks for asking. It's been a while since I just did a makeup video here on YouTube, so I thought I would come on here and just do some makeup and try out some new things, experiment a little. Could be a disaster, that's all part of the fun. And in case you're not in Berlin and haven't had the chance to come to one of my live shows, you might not know that during my shows, I encourage people to send me questions on Instagram and I answer them during the show. And there are several questions that I get over and over again, so I thought I would answer them for you today, here. Think of this as my frequently asked question page. So hopefully you'll see these and then you won't ever ask them again because I'm sick of answering them. No, I'm joking, all of your questions are very welcome. And it'll give you something else to listen to other than just me talking about makeup, which honestly, who other than me cares about that anyway? Although, I don't know, maybe you do. Comment below if that's you. So I've already shaved and moisturized, but there's one more thing I need to do before I can actually put makeup on my face. So I'm gonna go off camera and glue down my brows and I'll be right back. Alright, my brows are glued down. I've primed, I've put in contact lenses because, you know, myopic. Oh god, I still have lash glue on my eyelash from last time I was in drag. Gross. So usually after I've glued down my brows, I press powder into them to lock them in place, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try something new, which I learned from Pearl. You know, is there something on my face, Pearl? I guess not setting powder. I'm actually just going to put primer right over the dried eyebrows. This seems absolutely crazy to me, but let's see. Is it just going to dissolve the glue though? Okay. Hello, shiny eyebrows. Now I'm just going to dive right in with foundation. And while I do that, one of the most common questions that I get asked is, how did I start drag? Well, if you're new to this channel, you haven't heard the story already. When I was 13 years old, I saw the Australian film Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and I was like, oh my god, that's what I want to be when I grow up, a drag queen. Then for my subsequent birthday, I asked to have a fancy dress party just so that I could dress in drag. And it was fun for like the first half of the party, but then it started to feel kind of uncomfortable and weird because, you know, I was 13 and not really fully comfortable in my own body, let alone trying to embody something else. So I put that away for 20 years, and then when I moved to Berlin, I started going to drag shows and remembered, oh, this is something I was interested in trying. Then around my birthday in 2018, I bought myself some makeup and just started playing with it at home, all the while thinking I wouldn't really ever take it out into the world. But then one day I was at Judy Ladavina's show and she called people up onto the stage to perform spontaneously and then gave us all a standing invitation to perform for real another time. And I was like, yes, please. So it's a slippery slope. One day you're playing around with makeup at home, the next you're on someone else's stage, and then 3 years later you have your own show and a YouTube channel. So in case you're interested in what I'm doing right now, I'm actually just blending the foundation color. I'm using one foundation color over my whole face, which I often don't do because I'm usually too lazy to do that. But today, just for you, why not? But those eyebrows are covering pretty well. Okay, I guess that trick works. Then another common question that people ask me is, I want to start doing drag, but I don't know where to start. What do I do? Firstly, I'm very glad to hear that people are so interested in starting to do drag. Then what I usually say to people is, consider what is the thing that originally drew you into drag? What thing is it that you're most inspired by? Is it the performance? Is it the music? Is it makeup? Is it looks? And start by focusing on that thing and just seeing where it takes you. Be open to different opportunities and different ideas. Maybe you have a particular song in mind that you really would like to perform, or a different style of performance you want to try. And go to other drag shows and watch drag online and see what inspires you. And this actually leads directly into another question that I often get asked, which is, how do I decide what to perform and what's my process? So I'm usually actually inspired by songs in particular. So I choose a song that I want to do, I start learning the words, and then I let everything else around it fall into place. So I decide the look based on the kind of performance I want to do, and the movements based on the look. So it's all connected. One thing leads to the next. Okay, very good, very good. I've successfully deleted my face. Now let's start creating a new one. So I'll take a highlight shade and highlight the central areas of my face. I've actually started using a lighter highlight shade than I used to. I think the one I used before was not light enough. And especially now that I'm doing live shows outside where there's not actually stage lighting, I need to make my makeup pop that much more. Something else that people are often interested in learning about me and my drag journey is, What was my first ever performance? So like I said, it was at one of Judy Ledovina's shows back in July 2018. And I actually did the Robin song, Call Your Girlfriend. And I dedicated it to all of the queer people who've ever had a straight person flirt with them but not have the courage to follow through. And yes, this was based on a personal experience. Highlight applied, now time to blend. I've started using a smaller sponge again because I want to get precision and not muddy the makeup. Alright, time for some contour, starting with the nose, because I often seem to forget doing that at this stage. Alright, some people might find that rather severe, but I find it perfectly fitting to my personality. Okay, I just went ahead and mapped out the eye shape that I want to do as well. And now for the cheek contour. This is something I've been considering changing for a while, and today I want to do something a bit different. I want to do a harsh line on the top and fade it down. Usually I do the opposite. This is something I noticed that Eva Destruction does, and I think it looks pretty cool, and I think maybe we have a similar face shape, so it might help me. Alright, another very common question that I get is, have you ever had sex in drag? Now I know people mean this as like a joke, maybe, but a lot of people do have sex in drag. Personally, it's not my thing, and I'm not here to yuck on anyone's yum, certainly. But while I might feel sexy in drag when I'm performing, I don't find it sexual. Does that make sense? For me, it's not a fetish or something that I wish to bring into my sex life. It's totally fine if you do, it's just not for me. Okay, this is pretty severe. I guess that's the word of the day. I am kind of into it. This is actually more similar to what I would do for drag king makeup. And another common question I get is, can women do drag? I mean, please, yes. Arguably, modern drag as we know it was created by trans women. But really, anyone can do drag at the end of the day, at least that's my opinion. If you have a passion to do it and you want to perform, your gender doesn't matter. Drag is arguably gender as performance anyway, so it's really available to anyone. I'm actually quite enjoying these harsh lines today. Okay, one more thing before I set my face with powder. I'm actually going to outline the shape of the lips that I want with the contour foundation. Okay, that's the base. I'm going to go off camera for just a second and powder everything, and I'll be right back. Alright, the face is set and we are baking, which is just a fancy makeup term for saying intensifying the highlights with a white powder. And I think it's time to start the eyes. And today I want to do a kind of red, orange, yellow eye, which I almost never do. I've been doing blue eyes all the time lately. So I'm going to take some of these yellowy, orangey colors and I don't know, just kind of swirl it around. Another question I get all the time is some variation of how do you tuck, or are you tucked right now? So for those who don't know, tucking is the process that some people who have external genitals employ to create the illusion of not having external genitals. And yes, I am such a person. I have genitals on the outside of my body. Wow. But for drag, I'm not doing it. I'm not tucking. No, thank you. I have actually tried. I find it physically almost impossible. And while I'm using signals of femininity to create my drag, like I said, drag is gender as performance. Honestly, I'm just not committed enough to creating the illusion of being a woman. Also, by the way, some women have external genitals. Deal with it. Basically, I just don't find it necessary and I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to. Okay, that's a lot of yellow. Let's fade in some orange, I guess. Okay, maybe this color combination wasn't the greatest idea for covering my eyebrows. I regret nothing. Oh, hello. I'm just adding some red. I don't know where this is going, but it's going somewhere. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this eye shape. I've added some black on the inside. I think it's about time for some eyeliner. But first, another question I was asked recently, which I found important, was, are you going to continue doing live shows during winter? Great question. As you may know, I've only been doing live shows here in Berlin since June this year, and they've always been outdoors because of corona restrictions. We are allowed to do things indoors, but it's just a little more complicated, so I do hope to continue my outdoor shows as long as possible through the summer, but eventually it will get too cold to continue doing that, so I'll have to move indoors. Which I'm happy about because on one hand, like having a stage again, having proper lighting would be great, but there is something quite nice about doing outdoor and daytime shows. Currently, as the regulations stand, it's required for indoor and outdoor events to show proof of recovery from corona, vaccination against it, or negative test. And there are actually some venues here in Berlin that are doing indoor shows, but only accepting proof of vaccination, which I'm all for, to be honest. Like, get fucking vaccinated, everyone, if you're able to. So maybe that'll be the case for my shows in a few months, who knows? So I went off camera and I cut the crease and I filled it with this silvery, glittery color, which I'm actually kind of into. I haven't used it forever. Okay, I think I'm gonna do some under eye eyeshadow, which I usually don't do because I'm worried about how the skin creases, but I think today I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah? Are you with me? Okay. And another very popular question that I get is, who is your favorite drag queen? If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that it's Trixie Mattel. That's at least if we're talking about like really famous drag queens. Of course, in Berlin, there are so many drag performers that I admire and look up to. I actually have a whole video on some of my favorites. But yeah, I like Trixie for her style, for the kind of content she produces, her humor, I guess. I find her inspiring, and I'm pretty sure I've consumed every piece of media that she's ever been in or created. So I guess I am, as the kids would say, a stan. Oh, okay, I guess Halloween has come a little early here at Morgan HQ. But you know what? I'm not sorry about it. That really is enhancing the bags under my eyes. Hi there. Yes, I don't know what's going on either. Okay, let's move on from the eyes. Let's forget about this experience for now. Just gonna add some white in the highlight spots just to make them pop some more. One question that I quite like answering often is, how are you so confident? Honestly, I would just say that confident is a nice word for delusional. Like, to be on stage in front of people and to do these videos, I just have to kind of believe my own fantasy, believe that I am the person I want to be. And hopefully that comes across. Because no, it's not always easy, and I don't always feel like it. Sometimes I get ready for a show and then I'm like, oh, now I have to actually go and do the show. But reminding myself that this is ultimately something that I love doing, and that the life I want to have is one that includes this, then I just believe that fantasy and bring it to all of my endeavors. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter. All right, let's re-intensify these contours. I'm gonna go for a really dark color. Usually I do something a bit lighter and then build it up. I'm gonna go really dark right away. Okay, yeah, sure. All right, I finished contouring. I added some pink blush and a bit on the nose too, and I think now it's time to do lips.
Oh, man.
It's fine. And because I have all this pink and red already, I think I want to do a bluish green lip, which I haven't done for quite a while. And this is when the sketch that I made with the contour foundation comes in really handy, because now I just outline it and then fill it in. So actually, I think the last question that I want to share with you is not really related to drag at all, it's more about Berlin. The question was, what 3 things do you have to suffer through to become a true Berliner? And at my last live show, I asked the audience to help me come up with the answers. We decided on getting an Anmeldung, the terrible food, and chlamydia. What do you think? What would your 3 things to suffer through to be a true Berliner be? Let me know down in the comments. Personally, bad food, I don't know. I mean, I don't eat German food, so. Okay, I think I'm gonna go off camera, put on a lash, a wig, and a look, and come back and show you what I've turned this into. And this is the final look. Oh, spooky, ooky, kooky. I'm pretty happy with this. I never wear black hair. This is very strange for me. But I'm kind of into it. I mean, I basically just look like Eva Destruction. Or the budget version. So thanks for watching another video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are in Berlin and want to find out more about my live shows, please follow me over on Instagram at Morganwood Callisto, MorganWoodCalisto. Or you can sign up to my monthly newsletter at the link below. And thanks so much to everyone who sent in questions. I hope this illuminated some things for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Please share it with someone who might find it interesting. And if you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. There are new videos every week, and it's totally free. And if you're feeling flush and generous, you can head over to patreon.com/morganwood and support me over there. There are several tiers that you can support me at so that I can continue making this content for you. So thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you at one of my live shows perhaps. Otherwise, see you here next week. Goodbye.